What's going on, guys, and welcome back to our Surviving Java series. And we didn't actually spin the wheel at the end of last episode. I completely forgot to, and the only reason that I remembered is because I came over here to change this outfit, because quite frankly the Frostwalker boots are driving me insane. And then I thought, well, if we swap it over to a colour coordinated set of armour for our next project, and then I realised we hadn't actually picked our next project. So what we are going to do to start the episode off on is actually start this wheel spinning. That way we can sort of figure out what it is, like the project that we're meant to be doing. So yeah, so along the top and then down the side. So let's see where this guy lands. I don't know what they're currently up to. Oh yeah, I'm still absolutely loving this map art, by the way. It's quite nice having this like as my sort of go box, because that way I get to see it a lot more often than when it's at the gallery. I've not even taken all of the mob heads over to the gallery to sort out yet either. So that's probably something that we can sort of do while doing this episode. So we're on, what is it, row 1 here, which isn't a terrible row. I think this row 2, is going to be the horrible one. Like, what have we got on this? Clay farm, Yuzu randomizer, Weeping Vine farm, multi-tree farm would be a good one. Another zoo, wacky cow farm, and then a negative modifier for the episode. I wonder what it's going to be. Like, I wouldn't mind the clay farm, because I've not actually tinkered around with a clay farm at all. The multi-tree farm would be extremely handy, because at the moment I'm still having to use... Oh, clay farm. You know what? I'm actually okay with that. Like, if I remember correctly, the way of getting clay is by using the mud on top of dripstone, pointed dripstone, to make it dry out. So you have to sort of create a conveyor belt line that will push lines of mud over dripstone in order to dry it out, and then come up with another way of maybe harvesting it. Like, I don't know how to do that. It's like, I was thinking maybe a TNT duper, like off the top of my head, but then we would get clay balls rather than clay blocks, which means it would end up taking up a lot more inventory room, and would add a new step of having to craft it all. But then clay balls might actually be... Oh my god, I said that word. So oh, that's a bad word to sort of forget and then say out loud. It's like balls. But yeah, the clay balls are probably not the worst thing in the world, because if we have them, if we then mass cook them, we can then make them into the clay bricks in order... Well, just bricks they're called. And that way we can just start crafting the bricks rather than having to trade solely with villagers in order to get them. And then it just means that we just need to find a way of getting dirt automatically, because we can swap dirt over to mud using water bottles. So it's going to be like a multi-stage process in order to get the end product that we want, which is an interesting project to actually work on. It's it's going to be very sort of redstone heavy, which is pretty cool, which I've not actually done for a while. I've tinkered around with little bits of redstone, like uncomplicated redstone circuitry, but something, because obviously it's got to be big enough that I can continuously run it, and it's got to be a multi-stage process in order to make sure that the mud actually swaps over to clay before it runs into a conveyor belt to a TNT duper. Have we even got a copious amount of dripstone? Where would it be? Would it be with amethyst? Oh, we've got a whole bunch of pointed dripstone, so that shouldn't be a bottleneck for us. And I know that we've got like a budget dripstone farm over at Size, which isn't too bad. And I know that I've got a bunch of it over at the secret apocalypse zone, which we're still yet to get on the board. So what we're going to do is, that's going to be another one. I'm slowly filling out everything like I take off of this board. I'm actually replacing with one of our apocalypse banners. So let's go clay farm with that. So they are going to start popping up more frequently, which means we will eventually land an accessor project that I would really like to work on. But nevertheless, the clay project is going to be... I need to decide what... I didn't even think about mushroom spreading. I forgot that was even a mechanic. But yeah, okay. So we're either going to go probably industrial area, I'd say. Yeah, probably industrial area, which means we're going to go with our high-vis set. Let's grab you, and then you, and then you, thank you, and then you, thank you, and then we're going to want to grab this and go like so. Awesome. So now we won't be setting all of the water to freezing mode using these freaking things. Oh my god. Plus, it's like when you have the what is it? What did you want? Frostwalker. I'm gonna say ice boots. When you have the ice boots on, when you have the Frostwalker on, you can't have Depth Strider, so walking around and actually getting around inside of water is incredibly difficult and tedious. So yeah, quite thankful to not have that enchant on this set. I don't know what I was doing with that set. I know that I wanted one of them to have Frostwalker, but I completely forgot that it was just on a random set. So what we do want to do also is grab our yellow hats and put in our green hats. I actually gave Sai the Creeper green hat, and I've also got some other hats in here which don't belong. You are meant to be with these ones in here. Thank you. And then we've got our bee hat, which just looks fucking ridiculous. Our Moonflower hat, and we've got our mining helmet for our Build-A-Bob outfit. So yeah, I'll probably be doing this over in the industrial area. So what I'm going to do is have a tinker around with a design in a creative world, and once I've got a sort of working concept, like I've got a general idea of the processes that it's going to take, and I was thinking initially like, well, maybe we should get a completely automated process where we actually produce the dirt ourselves. But considering the byproduct of all of our digging projects, dirt is not really an issue at the moment. Like, we're not sort of struggling for dirt or like grass or anything like that, just because of the amount of digging projects that we're doing. At the moment, we've got probably around about another 4 or 5 shulkers feeding through the system of dirt of where we cleared out the Mushroom Islands. So nevertheless, what I'm going to do is do some tinkering around, and then once I've got a sort of workable concept and got the resources aside for it, I'll bring you back and we can sort of have a toy around with some ideas. Alright, so after some testing with the different mud on top of, what are they called? Also, I don't know what that little disconnect symbol's about in the bottom left hand corner. I have no idea what that means, but I think that might be something to do with the audio mod that I've now got on here, but yeah, we'll figure that out later. Done some testing with the mud on top of the, what are they called? Pointed dripstones in order to turn them into clay, and some Minecraft science.
Yes, science!
Ended up with the results of, like, I've done a stack of 64 mud on top of the dripstone, and then I've done another stack on top of the dripstone to see how long they would take before they turn into clay. The first test, most of them were done within 11 minutes, and then the rest of them took over 20 minutes. And then the second test, most were done within 9 minutes, and then the rest were done, all of them were done in over 20 minutes. But obviously we don't want a farm that's going to take a full 20 minutes, because working with the majority rather than the few, because otherwise we'd have to have each cycle waiting for about half an hour. So I've aimed the machine to finish a single cycle of where a block goes in to where a block comes out, and we're aiming at for around about the 10 to 10 and a half minutes. And we've put together a whole bunch of resources in order to make this farm. We've not designed an outer shell or anything for this, because I still need to figure out exactly where it's going to go. I do know that it's going to go somewhere inside of our industrial area, so we're going to swap out our sunflower hat for our miner's helmet to match our outfit. And then we're going to pick up all of these boxes and head on over to the industrial area to try to figure out exactly what spot we want it to be in. So yeah, trying to think of what else. I've been working on different bits and pieces at the gallery, putting all of the heads onto the walls and setting out which heads I actually still need. I put every single shard on every single pot. So there's 20 in total, and I've got all 20 on display at that gallery as well. What we can probably do is, after we've done this build and seen how it all works and how it functions, we can head back on over to the gallery to see what we're missing, and then probably hit back up the spinner wheel at our main base to see what our next main project's going to be. So yeah, so this is the area that I was thinking for it, and I came over here initially trying to figure out like whereabouts I could put it. And what I was I was making sure that my game sound's still actually recording. It bugged out massively on me earlier. Initially I was thinking like putting it over here, but because it's a manually activated farm, so it's not going to be running constantly, and in order to have the most stuff loaded in the area that I want, that takes a long time to load or run, is the amethyst farm, and then we've obviously got our melon and pumpkin farm over there, which, to be fair, we probably don't need any more melons and pumpkins. Like, I'm fairly sure both of these are reaching. Oh yeah, I went through here and I blocked up all of the melons that were here and put them into... Where did I put them? I didn't put them in chests here, did I? I think I boxed them all up in order to take them over to the village trading in order to get bricks over there. But our pumpkins are now maxed out on one side and it's closed in to the next side. And if we head on over to our other storage, just over here, is I think the easiest way. No. Like over here, we've got a whole bunch of shulkers filled with the melon slices. This one hasn't started filling up because we're waiting for the second unit to fill up in there. But yeah, that farm we don't really obviously need running permanently, but because it's an auto running farm, it's just going to run continuously whenever it's loaded. But the main point of concern was that I wanted to build it in this area, so that way when we're manually using the clay maker, that we will have the amethyst farm obviously loaded and generating, so that way we are getting the amethyst shards as well. So, nevertheless, what we're going to do is whack down all of our resources. Oh my god, do I hate when you keep on doing that? Let's put you down, and then put you and you. Is that? Yeah, I think that's all of them. Yeah, that's cool. And then we want to get our stone cutter. We are also going to need a bunch of, oh my god. Let's get our rockets. You. I've been blowing through rockets so quickly lately as well. We're going to want some honeycomb in order to wax our copper over there to stop it from turning back to the normal variant. What side's honey? I think this side is the normal honeycomb. Yeah, honeycomb. Thank you. Right, every now and again I come over here and I block them all up. So over here we've got a whole shulker filled with honeycomb blocks, a whole one filled with honeycomb. This is filled with honeycomb blocks, and then on this side we have got nearly a full shulker of honey blocks there, which is awesome. Just in case we ever want to build mass flying machines. But yeah, this is slowly filling up, and after this project I'll probably come back over here and actually block all of them honey bottles up, so that way they don't start overflowing. So nevertheless, let's jump straight into the time lapse of me building this, so then I can give you a demonstration of how it works. Alright then guys, so the build is now done, and yeah, it's pretty freaking tall compared to what it feels like when you've got it in a test world. So when I build it in survival, I didn't realise how like sort of high up it went. Which means whatever building we are going to have to build around this. I did go around and I replaced the floor out with mud, because we're getting mud as like a secondary byproduct from this, and then done an outline with the waxed oxidized copper and then some deep slate, just so I could use the machine without the fear of getting jumped by any sort of mobs. We can still get spiders, but no risk of creepers coming in. There was something else that I wanted to do that I did not realise. We are in risk of phantoms still, so what we are going to want is some wax oxidized copper. Ow, I did not mean to get up there. Like where I'm standing, just over here to place a block, I'm not actually covered by this little shelter bit, so just extend this out by a 1. And then I can show you how it all works. So the concept is you place a block, this redstone block sending a signal will then travel to this little circuit here. That circuit will then, oh my god, freaking thing, that circuit there will activate the piston, but at the same time it activates this piston, it will then send a secondary signal going back behind here. So then it sends one signal up top in order to deactivate and activate this redstone torch, which will then activate this dispenser, which will fill the bottle with water and dispose it into this hopper. This hopper will push it into this dispenser, and then this redstone signal will activate this, making this dirt block into mud. So that is how that little circuitry works. But then each time a line fills with this, it will get to the end and then it will activate a redstone signal, which then activates all the pistons, and then it sort of goes up in, I forgot about that, it sort of goes up in like a sort of tape action, so it gets pushed over and then up one layer and then pushed over and then up another layer, pushed over, and then it sort of just snakes this way all the way up. And I had to do it so tall so it stayed in the system for a certain amount of time, because otherwise you'll get a lot more like mud left over than what is currently here. The majority of it does get changed to clay, and obviously when you leave it in stasis for a while, a lot more of it will change to clay. But what I can actually do, and what I figured out, first of all, that little symbol in the bottom left hand corner of my screen is a symbol saying that the close proximity chat mod that I've got running on my client is not running currently on this server, which is why it's saying disconnected. That's nothing to worry about. I was just toying around with different mods from the fabric side of things, and to see which ones I can use and not use with the servers that I'm currently playing on. This server I've currently not installed that server side mod on, so let's just ignore that for the time being. The other thing that I did notice that I could do is where I can get Steve to do player actions, I can actually make myself do player actions without needing like secondary party mods in order to do so. So if I get myself, say, to use continuously, and then it will constantly just reuse the item in my hand, I can then jump into FreeCam and show you how it all works. So as you can see, it will sort of ticker tape itself all the way up to the top until it gets to the very top, and each time this line gets pushed over by one, it then activates the TNT duper, which will then drop onto this obsidian block, breaking whatever line has been pushed down. One issue when I was building, if you didn't notice during a time lapse, I forgot to place this obsidian block, and it took out the entire water tray, and all of the under area here was just flooded. It was a mess that I had to deal with. Second issue that I have run into once, when there's a severely bad, like a large lag spike, like if multiple people come online at the same time, or two big areas are loaded simultaneously, and it creates a big lag spike, this line will get pushed over too quick when I'm feeding it in, and it can knock out this line of redstone. But even if it does that, it's not the end of the world, because all it means is I just need to cut off this line, or just dig out this line and replace that line of redstone. It takes like 2 seconds to fix. I will figure out a fix for that. I'm thinking of maybe doing rather than having redstone line go in here, I can have the redstone line drop down with a bunch of repeaters, block it like pointing into the blocks on the side of these pistons, and then just have a line of obsidian here. That way it will prevent that line from getting pushed until that one's being pushed up, which is an easy fix. But other than that, I've not actually encountered any issues with the system, and it is producing a lot of clay and very, very quickly. So every single dirt block that I feed into it is equating to around about 4 clay balls or 1 block of mud. That little pop sound was my hand refilling a slot of dirt. And so far I've got that many shulkers filled with clay balls, and I've not really been working this machine for very long. All of these are pretty much filled with dirt, and I will show you how much is actually going into the system. Can I sort of get myself to stop using the machine? That would be nice. Player, me, stop. Thank you. Get out of that free cam mode, and then we've got a couple more bits of dirt. Oh, that's another shulker full of clay. Let's just put the dirt here. So it's got the bits there. So this one can actually come with me. So this is where clay is filling up. It will start filling up the top and the bottom, because the top hopper is obviously getting it in a lot quicker than it can be pulled from underneath. So it's pushing it into the top hopper as well as feeding down to the bottom one. Same for this and this. That one's full, that one's nearly full, that one's been filling, that one's been filling, and then the last little bits have been filling as I've been emptying, and then we've got a surplus of mud. So yeah, that's the clay machine now up and running and fully functional, which is happy days. I do have to go and restock my light box. I did notice as I was using bits and pieces, I'm running very low on like the frog lights, torches, nearly non-existent. Sea lanterns I've gone through a lot, lanterns I've gone through a lot, so that box is definitely going to have to be sorted out. That one can go, that one can go, that one can go. You can come, you can come. And then we can put all of these into, oh no, that one doesn't go in there. Organize, thank you. And then we're going to pick up all of these guys, pick up you. You know, all of you can come back with me to be sorted. Great, I forgot about putting you two away in my boxes. There was one of them that had all my tools in. Which one was it? Crap, I can't remember. Was it? Am I missing anything? I don't think I'm missing anything significant. I know in order to make more room in my pockets when I build... Ah, for frick's sake. I've done that so many times over the last couple of days. Ah. Whatever. Let's grab you. Look, you can see blocks of coal. And I keep on, it's like... I don't know how many times I've done it, but I know that I've done it about 4 or 5 times. Because this box used to have at least 6 or 7 spare ender chests in, just in case I do it. But yeah, I keep on getting confused, because usually this colour of my pick is meant to be my silk touch one, and my fortune ones are meant to have this little green thing on, like the fortune shovel. But it gets very confusing. But nevertheless, I should really pay more attention to the names that pop up, because cha-cha-ching indicates that it's breaking the blocks for whatever valuables are inside. But yeah, let's head back to base and put these guys through our sorting system. And then once they're in our sorting system, I was meant to grab all of them shulkers of clay balls. Yeah, once this is all in the sorting system and feeding through, we'll get Steve on. And then Steve can start keeping an eye on things while we spin the wheel to see what our next main project's going to be. Come on, come on. I have no idea what Cloud and QE's been up to today. I think they've been trying to get the new mob heads, because we updated the pack in order to get the... what is it? The sound ones. Like, because obviously they added functionality in 1.20.1 for more mob heads to have more sounds. The more mob heads data pack now has the NPC data that adds the sounds to the mob heads, which is pretty cool. Get Steve. Just so he can make sure that if I do shoot off from this area before I forget, the saw will carry on running. So yeah, happy days. Let me throw these guys in. I don't want to throw the one with the clay balls in. Did I pick the... yeah, so I don't want to throw that one in. You could be thrown. You could be thrown. You, and you. You. You can also be thrown. This one, I was meant to grab all of the others because I want to go and smelt them all. Because I've got around about 2.5 shulkers worth of clay balls that will make at least 2 shulkers. No, I've got 8.5 shulkers. No, 9 shulkers full of clay balls, which will make 2.5 shulkers of the normal bricks. So these, and then I can turn them obviously into these. So it'll be 2.5 shulkers of them bricks that I'm getting from dirt, basically. Which is a good trade-off because it saves me spending like hours upon hours trading with villagers in order to get them bricks. So happy days there. What is it we're doing? Yeah, we've got that stuff feeding through, so we want to go spin the wheel to see what our next project is. Okay, so they've been over here lately and purposely done this. Fucking guys. Okay, let's spin this wheel to see what we're going to get. Now, the one rule that we have, obviously, when doing this, we can't work in the same area more than 1 episode in a row. That is not meant to be spun round, and Cloud knows this, so he's probably done that. That freaking guy. So yeah, as always, we go along the corridor downstairs. If we get an industrial project, we're going to have to re-roll just so we're not in the same area for more than 1 episode. Although our last episode did not tell us that we have to work in that area, but that's just the area that the clay machine sort of fit in best. So yeah, let's see what this lands on. That I've actually seen it take. Okay, so we're on line 2, which is some very interesting ones and some very sort of worrying ones. Line 2, I know that we've got the Witch Hut, which is one that's a massive project. What else? Glow Squid, Ice, Massive Neverwort, Zoo Project. And then the other ones are negative modifiers for a full episode. So yeah, let's see where this lands. Number 1. Oh crap. Glowing Farm. Double crap. Great. No idea what we're going to be doing for that. Put another one of you. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Go in the item frame. Okay, so yeah, next episode looks like we're working on the glowing farm. The only pain about doing the glowing farms is that they changed the way that they spawn. Clay farm, you're now done. Glowing farm. So I need to find the right area in order to get it. I may try to combine it in the area that's got the ink farm with our guardians, and so that way all of our sort of dye box resources are coming from generally the same area. But how to implement that, I'm not entirely sure yet, so that's going to be interesting. Yeah, so what we'll do just before we head off for the day, I want to go take you back over to the gallery that we worked on last episode, so I can show you these sort of adjustments and changes that I've been making over there. So yeah, let me head over there and I will meet you there. Alright, so the first changes that I've made in the area is I've been adding lighting. So we've got all of these lanterns now hanging along the actual, what are they called? The parapets, the outcurves, them things, going along the top and along the bottom side there, as well as the back end of it is now all illuminated, so it's not looking all dark and dingy at night. We've got some lighting underneath our lions just to sort of light up the statues. I need to put more lanterns over here, but I was running extremely low on them. So that's something that I need to restock up on. They're not obviously very expensive, but when I don't have the resources on hand, I couldn't really make them, so I was out of torches as well. But this is now our sort of head corridor. So we've got all of the different signs indicating what heads that we still need. And I don't believe, like, I've got a glow squid head, which I obviously just put in an item frame, but that was used for the other wall, and I still need to get dolphins. So the aquatic ones, there's still a few more to get. All of the zombie villagers, I've got a few of them, but I'm just matching them with the villager heads. And the villager heads, we've only got that one and the wandering trader. We are missing a few here, so Striders, Cold Striders, the original Shulker that's actually still got his shell rather than the shellless one. Magma Cube, Witch, Pillager, Husk, Zombie, Hoglin, which is a Zoglin, I don't know why I called it Zombie Hoglin. Silverfish, Creeper, Charge Creeper. Like, the Creeper, Charge Creeper are easy enough. The Stray's not difficult, Husk isn't all that difficult, because we got the Charge Creeper farm, so getting them two is going to be easy enough. Got the Zombie, Hoglin, Zoglin, I've already said that, Sniffer, all 4 llamas. Clowd actually helped me with the llama ones a little bit. And then we've got the other 4 llamas, Polar Bear, Pig, Snow Fox, Snowman. This entire thing, which is just sheep. We've got our Warden, we've got the Jeb Sheep and the Ender Dragon head. This one's for like the angry neutral one, so Angry Bee Pollinated, and the Angry Wolf. This one is all of the cats that fit perfectly on that one. The frogs and the tadpoles, we've got 3 different frog heads and the tadpole that need to go there. Horses and donkeys and mules, we need to get most of them. The Ravager and Illusioner we still need to get. And we still need to get 2 of the axolotls, I do believe. Is it 5? So what is it? You've got yellow, brown, white, pink and blue. And then we still need to get the parrot heads as well as like a whole bunch more of the rabbits apparently, and all of the pandas. So we're missing quite a lot of the heads. But over here is where we was sorting and organising all of the heads that we've got. Yeah, so we've gone through them and we've placed the ones that we have got obviously. In the actual Sizzles corridor here with all of his map art, I've gone and displayed every single shard that you can get on the pots, and then we put some flowers in them as well, just to sort of brighten the area up a little bit more. And then in the windows we actually replaced 2 of the chiseled quartz with grass blocks, and then we've put some flowers on each of them with some white trapdoors, so we are getting like an extra little pop of colour when we are looking in from the outside as well as from the inside, so it just looks a little bit more sort of lush really and colourful, which is what I wanted to do, which I actually really like. So yeah, that's the changes that we made over here. I'm going to be ticking away at these mob heads in between episodes, and once I've done a fair amount of them, because it will be something that I can obviously do off camera, me running around and murdering a bunch of defenseless neutral mobs isn't overly interesting, but I'll probably bring you back for interesting ones like trying to get the Zoglin and the Creeper ones, and maybe some of the Pillager ones we can sort of bring you back for. But otherwise I'll just give you periodic updates on how well I'm getting along with them. But nevertheless, hopefully you've enjoyed today's episode, and that is the wrong button. Hope you've enjoyed today's episode and you've enjoyed the process and the completion of our clay farm. So yeah, and hopefully I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye bye.